Hi, everybody, and welcome to this month's live training. And I hope you're keeping very well. Oh dear, cat! Cat just walked across my desk there. Just one second. I want to make sure that the audio is okay.
Welcome.
Yeah, it's working. All's working. All the technical things seem to be working this time. Hope you're all keeping very well. And this is this month's live training for the Secrets of Success mentoring program. And the topic today is master your physiology, master your life. You know what? How you think is dramatically affected by how you think. Sorry, how you think is dramatically affected by your physical health and well-being. Oh my goodness, look, giant cat. Sorry about this. Um, how you think is dramatically affected by your physical health and well-being. So if you're not looking after your bodily needs, it will affect the way you think. And if you're trying to achieve any worthwhile goal, it'll be held back. You need more energy and vibrancy and aliveness to achieve the better things in life. So I'm going to share with you today all the simple little tweaks, small, simple incremental changes you can make to dramatically increase your health. So what are we going to cover today? We are going to cover a simple formula to dramatically improve your health, how to hack into and boost your body's energy system, what to eat and think to be more successful, 7 questions that give you more energy. How can questions give you more energy? They can, and you'll find out how. And also how postures, voice, and gestures influence your success. Another giant cat walking past. You know what the problem is? He's very he's not very happy because his he's a very special cat, a very well loved and spoiled cat, and he has a bed that's normally here on the desk. So you know what I'm going to do? Before I'm going to move my laptop, I'm going to move my laptop over here. I'm going to put his bed on the desk, plunk him in the bed. There you go, Teddy. And hopefully we'll be all right this time. Anyway, so 7 questions that can give you more energy. How postures, voice, and gestures influence your success, because they do. How we carry our physical body, how we talk, how we express ourselves has massive effects on how successful we can be and how quickly we can achieve our goals. And I'm also going to share with you a simple meditation to combat stress and increase well-being, and a 5-point checklist to optimize and maintain your energy. So that's what we're covering today. This fella is going crazy. Will you sit and go over here, Teddy, into your bed? Oh no, he's going to pull the camera down now. Oh dear. There we go. These are oh, he's jumped on the floor now. These are the challenges of doing anything live. You can't cover up anything. So before we get started, in a couple of minutes from now, I'm going to go in front of my big screen as normal and do the presentation from there with my clicker. And but before I do that, we switch cameras. I'm going to ask you a couple of questions because I want to get an idea of where people are at, because I can then modify or tailor the presentation for the people who are watching live right now, modify it slightly. So I'm going to ask you 2 questions. Your fitness level, regarding your fitness level and how you eat, because your fitness level and how you eat directly influences how you feel, what you can accomplish. So on a scale of 1 to 10, how would you rate your physical health in the past 3 months? If you've had your physical health is great, give yourself a high rating, 7, 8, 9, 10. Are you fit, and are you eating high quality, wholesome foods? Or might you need to improve your overall health and fitness? If so, give yourself a lower rating. So I'm just going to look at the chat box here. Oh yeah, there's a chat window probably on the right hand side of the page where you can put in your responses here. And I'm just going to read what people are saying. A 7, 5, 9, 3, 7, 4, 6. Okay, numbers all over the place. So anyway, in today's training, I'm going to help you to master your physiology. So no matter how you are right now, what I'm going to share with you will help you feel better, have more energy and clarity, and this in turn gives you greater power to improve every area of your life. Okay, much more easily. And a second question, once again, on a scale of 1 to 10, how effectively are you using your posture, your gestures, and your voice to generate energy and influence others? Or do you feel you've got bad posture, slouched over, or that your voice isn't accurately conveying to the world how you wish to be perceived? This is important. So on a scale of 1 to 10, how effectively are you using your posture, gestures, and voice to generate energy and influence others? Again, high numbers, if you feel very much so, 7, 8, 9, 10. Lower numbers, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, or even 1. If you feel that your posture is not great and your voice isn't accurately conveying to the world how you wish to be. Okay. So once again, I'm looking at chat here on the right. 7, 3, 4, 7, 5, 5, 7, 9, all over the place once again. So anyway, today I'm going to help you to increase your energy, feel more positive and optimistic by becoming more consciously aware of how you communicate with other people. So lots of really practical how-to information that has been scientifically proved to work, actually, because what I share each month in these live trainings, it's not just things I'm pulling out of the air or inventing myself. I always share my own perspectives and understandings and experiences, but these are things that have been scientifically proved to work, and I'll share those scientific proofs in the high performance section towards the end. Few little tweaks that have been scientifically proved to give you more energy, more aliveness, more joy, better health, clearer thinking. Okay, so let me see. Yep, I'm going to blank out a couple of things here, and this camera will go dark for just a moment, and the other camera will spring to life, and I'll do the session from that camera. I'm just going to remove this logo because we don't need it anymore, and I'm going to blank out the camera. And as I say, don't go away. I'll see you in just a moment. Hi everybody, and welcome to this month's live training. I hope you're keeping very well. The topic or the subject or the title of this month's training is Master Your Physiology, Master Your Life. This is all about the connection between your physical health and your brain power, because if you're not looking after your physical health, it's very hard to achieve your goals because you won't have enough energy. You may feel foggy in the brain fog. So your mind and your physical health hugely related, and we're going to look at that today. Okay, really important topic for high performance and way above average success. So what did we cover last month? Just a brief synopsis of last month. We looked at the psychology of success, and I explained to you the life-changing power of positive thought, and also the destructive power of negative thought. Also how to improve your self-worth and your earning potential, because your earning potential is directly related to how much you value yourself. Fact. And also we looked at mind over matter experiments. I shared some experiments with you, scientific experiments that have shown that your mind actually profoundly influences your environment and what happens to you. Your thoughts and emotions create the circumstances of your life. So if you're intrigued by what I've just said, go back and look at last month's the recording, the replay of last month. You'll see it in YouTube or on my website or Facebook or LinkedIn, lots of different places. It's all there for you. And we also looked at how to master your mind with minimal effort. This is not about strong willpower and self-discipline. Every month I share the things that matter most, the simple principles that lead to success that have been scientifically proved to work. So that's last month. And also how to create a powerful success mindset on autopilot, because a lot of people don't have a success mindset. They have a failure mindset. They're not thinking in a way that brings about success naturally. How you think determines everything. So that was last month. So what are we going to cover today? Well, as I said a few minutes ago, master your physiology, transform your life. When you master your physiology, and it's not difficult, just slight adjustments
can totally transform your life. Everything I teach every month is about minimum effort, maximum result. What are the smallest adjustments that you need to make to catapult your life forward, to achieve all your goals more easily, to achieve the life you're born to live and that you yearn for and that may have eluded you up until this point. So we're going to look at how to master your physiology and transform your life. And we're going to see that energy is a vitally important topic for success. It's very hard to achieve your goals if you're very low in energy. But it's very easy to boost your energy, and I'll show you how. And also, we're going to cover how the mind and the body influence each other, and the effects of food and exercise on the mind. Okay, and I'm going to share with you 7 questions that you can ask yourself that will give you more energy. How can questions give you more energy? Well, stick around for the next hour, and you'll find out. And I'm going to also share with you how your postures, how you carry yourself. Are you slouched? Or are you walking around upright? Your postures, also your voice, how you talk, your tone of voice, and gestures. These things actually influence our energy. And when you do make a few adjustments in your posture, voice, and gestures, a lot of things can change. And we're going to also look briefly at meditation. Very simple meditation that will enable you to combat stress and increase your well-being very, very, very quickly, even if you've never meditated before. Simple stuff. And I'm going to share with you a checklist to optimize and maintain your energy. So why are these things even important? Why are these topics important? Well, first of all, when you increase your energy, you'll have a lot more brain power. You'll be a lot less foggy-brained, and you'll see things more clearly, and you'll know much more accurately the actions you need to take to create the life that you want. So these are important because these things are important because they'll help you increase your energy and your brain power. Also, the effects of that will positively affect your career and your relationships, and you'll be able to get anything you want a lot more easily. You can do things the hard way or the easy way. And the easy way is to go out and find what do the world's most successful people do. What are their common factors that most of them do? The answer is yes. And those common factors I share each month. The simple habits, tools, and techniques that allow the world's most successful people, the world's highest performers, to achieve a far better life a lot more easily than trial and error. Or as Einstein said, doing the same thing over and over again, expecting a different result. That's the definition of insanity. And that's what most people do. Okay, so all scientific principles here. So first of all, let's look at the body's energy system. And you might think, what? Well, this is according to Oriental medicine that has been around for thousands of years, a lot longer than our Western medicine. And in fact, if we're going to briefly talk about acupuncture and a few things like that. And the fact is that every medical insurance company in the world will cover you for acupuncture and other forms of Chinese medicine because they work. Health insurance companies do not pay out money or cover your expenses for things that don't work. That would be crazy. So that should give you, this credibility here, a hell of a lot of credibility. So, according to the Far East, Eastern philosophy, not just China, but India and all over the Far East, there is this life force known as chi or prana or ki, depending what part of the Orient you come from. And according to this ancient science, and it is a science, this chi or life force, it's like we're living in a sea of energy, and it enters the body in 7 major positions known as chakras, and they correspond with different endocrine glands, and they're like swirling vortexes of energy. And these things have been observed in more recent years in laboratories. This is fact. So what happens to this chi or energy that enters the body? Well, it runs around the body along pathways known as meridians. and like literally rivers of energy, okay? And if you go to an acupuncturist, they will treat you by putting needles along various parts of these meridians to strengthen the movement of this chi, or to divert it to where it should be going, if it's or if it's stagnating or pooling in certain areas. They treat you to get the energy flow moving again. And what happens is, whatever ailment or medical problem you have, it starts to improve. Okay, so this is fact. And you know, these acupuncture points and the meridians, these acupuncture points were first viewed in a laboratory way back in the 1960s. You know, about 60 years ago, 60 more years ago. So this is real, and they were observed using Doppler ultrasound and thermal imaging, and they are noticeably different from other points on the body, noticeably different. Okay, so they can be observed. Okay, and they have high density nerve bundles and muscle trigger points, and disturbances, as I said a moment ago, disturbances in the flow of chi can lead to physical problems because the bodily organs aren't receiving the life force that they need to function correctly. So, interesting fact, our thoughts, your thoughts, also affects the movement of energy around your system. And negative thoughts, this has been shown by many scientists that if you're thinking very negatively a lot of the time, it affects, it releases toxins into the blood. Whereas if you're very happy or positive, all sorts of endorphins are released and you feel very different. But also how you think affects this flow of energy. How you think affects your health dramatically. So food and exercise also influence the flow of chi around our body. Therefore, they directly impact our health. And our mind affects our body affects our mind. It's an inextricable relationship. How we think affects everything about our health. And when we have optimum health, our mind is functioning much more positively, much more energetically. Our speed of thought is greater. We can understand things more clearly. We can see the links between things. It's the difference between being, wise or foolish, intelligent or stupid. Honestly, how you treat your health affects your ability to think clearly and your mental agility. I've experienced both in my life, and it's very easy to gradually fall asleep by thinking in a certain way. Likewise, it's very easy to waken up like you've never wakened up before and see things in a very different way and have a lot more energy. So that's what we're talking about today. And our health determines our brain power and what we can achieve. Your health affects dramatically your success and your ability to achieve your goals. Okay. Oh, and one other thing, optimize your health and you will be more successful in everything you do, as I just said a moment ago. So that's the body's energy system. Now, there's a guy called Edgar Cayce. He lived about 100 years ago, and he came up with a very interesting, a very simple method for obtaining or for creating optimum health. Very simple. I like it. It's C-A-R-E. It's an acronym, CARE. C is for circulation. Okay, so these are the things you need to pay attention to have optimum health. You need to look after your circulation, because without adequate exercise, even if you eat good, high-quality food, the nutrients in your food may not be reaching the cells of the body where they are transformed into energy. If your circulatory system isn't working properly, your brain may not be receiving adequate nutrients and blood flow for optimal performance. Circulation is really important, and without proper circulation, the body's ability to heal itself is greatly impaired. Okay, so that's circulation, and also your circulation must operate effectively for optimal health, energy and brain power. So this is one of the spokes on the bicycle, care, C-A-R-E. This is one of the aspects of this system that's so important. Your circulatory system is really important, that it's operating correctly. The second one is A for assimilation. And this is your body's ability to digest and distribute food. Okay? If your body's not assimilating food correctly, it'll affect everything. So even if you eat quality, natural, unprocessed foods, there may be conditions existing in your body that prevent your food from being assimilated properly. Okay? It's very possible. Okay? And Edgar Cayce, to help with assimilation, he suggested that our diet consist of 20% acid-producing foods and 80% alkaline-producing foods, as well as 8 glasses of water daily. Now, it depends on the size of the glass, and that also depends on your body weight. If your body weight is high, you need more water. If you're underweight, you need less water. Your body needs water to assimilate food, to bring the food to the cells where they are burnt as energy, and also to carry away toxins. Really important. Water is really important. So he's saying here, an alkaline diet, predominantly alkaline, is really good for health and dramatically helps you to assimilate your food. And also, he said that if you're not getting nutrients effectively from your food, you will have less energy and vitality than you could have. Okay, this is why assimilation is really important. The third one is relaxation, C-A-R-E, R for relaxation. Research has proved that you need 7 to 9 hours sleep every night. And you might think, oh, I'm fine after 5 hours. You might feel fine, but over long term, lack of sleep causes a lot of problems. The body doesn't get enough time to repair itself. So, you need, even if you're not getting 7 to 9 hours sleep at this point, you need to gradually get to those two sweet spots, 7 to 9 hours sleep. In more recent years, for me, oh my goodness, I realized so clearly how sleep affects my performance. I'm really, really strict about getting enough sleep. Really strict. I have this thing called an Aura ring. It's one of those bio-tracking devices. And, it shows me how well I've slept, how much REM sleep, how much deep sleep, light sleep, the times I've been awake, and it makes recommendations to adjust my going to bed time the next night. And it's great. It's amazing. And it has a huge impact on your health. Okay? So most high performers get plenty of sleep. This is fact. This is one of the facts that have been discovered from studying the lives of hundreds of thousands of high performers, highly successful people. And as I said, over a long period of time, lack of sleep can have serious health consequences. This is now scientific fact. We've discovered this just in the last few years. Sleep studies have this. Look, we've learnt more about the human brain in the past 20 years than we have in the last 20,000 years. In fact, in the last 10 years than the last 10,000 years. Supposedly, civilization's only been around 7,000 years, whether we believe that or not. So that's relaxation. Also, relaxation means also having enough time for recuperation so that the mind and body are both allowed to relax. If you're stressed all the time, that's so bad for your health. That wrecks lives. There's this saying, stress is the biggest killer today. Not directly, but the long-term effects, absolutely. So you need to give yourself opportunities to de-stress and relax through recreational activities that you enjoy and that help you unwind. And if you think, oh yeah, I just lie in front of the TV at night, okay, that can be relaxing. But studies have also found, by wiring people up to EEG machines, that when we're watching TV, we're in a light stressed state, slightly stressed state, believe it or not. Anyway, that's up to you. So that's relaxation. I'm not saying don't watch TV. I watch a bit, not much, but a bit. So elimination, very important. CARE, circulation, assimilation, relaxation, and elimination. If your body is not eliminating the toxins that build up in it, then your health and your brain will not operate at optimal efficiency. Fact. So it's important that all the cells of the body are receiving nutrients that can be converted into energy. This is one of the reasons why water is so important. But it's also equally important that the cells are able to eliminate toxic wastes that can be carried away from the cells effectively. And if you're not hydrating properly, if you're not drinking enough water each day, that's not happening. And conditions can become chronic. And water is so important. Water is so important. There's a guy called, I think it was Dr. F. I don't know if I'm pronouncing this correctly. F. Batman Hellige. Not Batman and Robin, but I think it's F. Batman Hellige. He was from Iran, and I think it was the 70s. So many university professors and doctors were thrown in jail like criminals of thought. Crazy time. But he literally came up with a water-based system of medicine. Amazing. Water can cure all sorts of different ills. His book is, I think, Your Body's Many Cries for Water. I think that was it. And there was in prison with all these other doctors and academics and whatever. There's no medicine, and so he was starting to try and treat people through water in various different ways, and it worked. Okay, so if toxins build up in the cells and are not eliminated, then this can lead to all sorts of chronic conditions that I just mentioned before. So that's Edgar Cayce's system of health care. So this is really interesting. You might think, what? No, this is true. Your body posture affects your memory, recall, your ability to remember things, and your mood. And this is a study from San Francisco State University. And the study investigated the effects of posture, for example, sitting in a slouched position or an upright position. And they tested to see if it would have effects on the ability to recall either negative or positive memories. It does, as you'll discover. 216 college students sat in either a slouched or an erect position while recalling negative memories, and then in a second step recalling positive memories. So then they sat in the opposite body position while recalling negative and then positive memories. So what do they find out? Well, the results of the study is that 86% of the students reported that it was easier to recall negative memories in the collapsed position than in the erect position. So if you think about this, if you're in the slouch position all the time, you will be remembering more negative thoughts from your past. Oh gosh, that's not good, is it? You're walking around like that, it just makes things worse, much worse. On the other hand, 87% of the students reported that it was easier to recall positive images in the erect position than in the collapsed position. So if you're walking around open like that, you're keeping your spine as straight as possible, you will be thinking more positively. You will have lots of positive memories that will be coming to mind. Oh my goodness, this is such a small thing. But when you adjust your body posture, your mind is affected dramatically in the present, and also your perception of past events will be either positive or negative, or more positive or more negative, depending on your body position. So This is very interesting. For those who are most depressed in the previous 2 years before this study, there was no difference in recalling positive or negative memories in either positions. It's like when you're depressed, you're locked into a spiral, and it doesn't really matter what body positions. But I feel that even if you're very depressed, if you start changing your posture over the period of time, you will start automatically, your mood will start to lift. And that has been proved, by the way, not in this particular study, I don't think. But anyway, so the conclusion of this study by San Francisco State University: you should sit upright more at work and at home as a strategy to increase positive effects and decrease depression. So yes, this is the conclusion. So your posture affects your mind, your emotions, your thoughts, and your actions, and therefore your results. Your posture has an effect on your ability to achieve your goals. Your posture has an effect on how successful you will be. Okay? So, the high performance coaching section, this is where I get into very specific strategies and tools and techniques you can use to get ahead faster, reduce stress and burnout, increase your energy and well-being and brain power. And this is Brendan Burchard, and that's me, if you didn't recognize me. He's the founder of the High Performance Institute over in the US. And his organization studied, I think, over 300,000, probably 500,000 high performers at this point, to determine, to find out, a scientific study to find out if most high performers, most highly successful people do things a little bit different. And they do. They do things very specific. They use very specific habits that are pretty much common to all of them. And these are the things I share each month. So this has been scientifically proved to work, what I'm about to share with you from this point forwards. So high performance, what is it? It's not peak performance. High performance means excelling and succeeding above and beyond standard norms consistently over the long term. I will read that again because it's so important. High performance means excelling and succeeding above and beyond standard norms consistently over the long term. These are things that you can, simple little actions, habits that can carry you forward long term and dramatically improve your life. This works. So high performance habits. Well, high performance is, as I say, it's not the same as peak performance. Unless you're an athlete, you won't be interested in peak performance because you can't keep up a peak performance state. Not possible. You can't, you run your marathon, you can't keep running or you die. You can only have a peak performance for a very short period of time. So high performance is about the long term, okay? Sustainability. So high performers have greater success, fulfillment, aliveness and joy. They know how to win back time, and they try to gradually eliminate activities that waste time and energy. And also high performers dramatically increase their productivity. They work smart rather than necessarily hard, okay? Usually they do both, but what's the point in spending 10 times the amount of energy to achieve the same goal? No point at all, waste of energy. So it makes such sense to do things the smart way, the small adjustments that have massive effects. So high performers also take energization breaks. They don't work constantly, non-stop throughout the day. They take breaks every 60 or 90 minutes, just for a couple of minutes to recharge, to bring back the focus, bring back the energy. So as you go through the day, instead of losing energy, you regain energy. The energy you've lost, you can regain a chunk of it. And then you lose energy, in the next few tasks that you're doing, and then you can recoup that energy, so it makes a big difference when you have more energy right throughout your day. You progress your work far more with much more passion and aliveness and energy. You feel different, okay? Energization breaks are so important. And when I don't take them, I gradually lose energy and brain power. So high performers also improve their energy, their health by reducing stress and burnout. Simple techniques to do that. And high performers have greater focus and aliveness and joy. They get more done and faster. And they achieve far higher success than 95% of people. Fact. So that's what high performance is all about. So we shared this with you before a few months back. I'm going to dip into it again. Just a quick recap. Firstly, I love this saying by Brendan Burchard: the power plant doesn't have energy, it generates it. Okay, we get so much energy from our food and things, but you know, a lot of the energy you have is generated by how you think. It is possible to raise your energy in a few seconds if you know how. So, here are some questions that you need to ask yourself. 1 second, I need some water. To your very good health. I'm starting to lose my voice. So, when you ask yourself questions and you answer those questions to yourself honestly, it'll allow you to gain perspective of where you're at right now and make a few adjustments. When you know where you are, you'll know what to do. Okay? So, you don't need to write all these down frantically because I'm going to go quite quickly, but I'm going to share with you a PDF file you can download with all the slides of today's session. But later on, print them out, print this out and ask yourself these questions and answer them honestly and then make a few adjustments. The questions you ask yourself, when you ask great questions, they can change your life. Everything starts with a question, believe it or not. Think about that more deeply later. On a scale of 1 to 10, how much physical and mental energy have you had in the past 3 months? And why is that? Okay, very deep-reaching question here. Number 2, think about a time in the past when your mental and physical energy were at their best. Think back over the last, few years maybe. And when you had lots of energy and aliveness, great physical energy, mental energy, why was that? Something will have been going on then, something to learn from there, okay? Recognizing what made that possible. Number 3, in the areas of nutrition, exercise, wellness, and sleep, what habits do you have that supports your energy and health? Do you have any? Write them down. If you don't, something to be learned here. Number 4, what routines do you have for recharging daily, weekly, monthly, and yearly? And what would make you feel more vibrant? Answer these questions, brainstorm, gain some perspective and some strategies to make improvements. Okay? Number 5, are there any areas of your life that are particularly stressful or draining energetically? I bet there are. You wouldn't be human if there weren't. If so, what do you do for stress management? We all need a way to de-stress. And if we don't, after a while we can be in trouble. Okay, it affects everything. So, number 6, what would you take on if you had 3 times more energy? Think about this. Think about your energy level the last 3 months. And if you had 3 times that energy, what would you be doing that you're currently not doing or not able to do because you don't have the energy? Very interesting questions here. So, and then number 7, if you became more committed to your optimal health, what would you immediately start doing and what would you immediately stop doing? If you're becoming much more committed to your optimal health, what would you start doing? What would you stop doing? Okay, amazing questions. I didn't think them up, unfortunately. Posture, voice, gestures, and expressions affect your energy. As I mentioned earlier, your posture, voice, gestures, and expressions. Your posture, we've discovered this, the study by San Francisco State University, but also your voice, your gestures, and your expressions. Not just posture. All these things affect your energy. So science has proved that your posture, voice, gestures, and facial expressions affect your thoughts, emotions, actions, and results. So what do you want your posture, voice, gestures, and facial expressions to portray about you to the world? How do you want to be perceived by others? Because your posture, voice, gestures, and facial expressions dramatically affect how people perceive you. So how do you want to be portrayed? How do you want these posture, voice, gestures, and facial expressions to portray about you to the world? Number 2, do you feel that is what is already being portrayed? Are you already portraying yourself in the way you want? Number 3, if not, what do you need to start doing with your posture, voice, gestures, and expressions for the world to perceive you the way you want? Great questions here, great questions here. And also, what would you stop doing? Okay, we all have bad habits. What would you stop doing so that you portray yourself in the way that you want? Why would you even do that? When you project much more powerful, positive self-image, people will want to help you. People will help you achieve your goals more easily. You'll be more influential. It's not manipulation, it's about being totally alive and the effects on others of that. Okay, this is a gift. This is a gift to you. Really use this. Okay, so meditation. Let's look at meditation briefly. Meditation is practiced daily by millions of highly successful people. It's one of these common factors. Most highly successful people do some form of meditation. And the benefits of meditation are so many. Firstly, meditation reduces stress and improves cardiovascular health. It increases your sense of well-being. It increases a sense of connectedness and empathy with others. It strengthens and improves your relationships. It improves your ability to focus. It helps you make better decisions. It boosts your creativity. It helps people overcome addictions. It enhances your immune system. It helps you to achieve the flow state. And it reduces physical and emotional pain, as well as enhancing spiritual awareness. I've been practicing a form of meditation for 35 years or more. It's so important. This is what gives me energy. This is what gives me brain power and focus, aliveness and joy. This is one of the biggest secrets I personally have. This is how I start every morning. Vitally important. So meditation, you might think, I've tried it before, I can't focus, I'm very distracted. That doesn't matter. It doesn't matter, just the effort to try it brings on effects. But we look at a very simple meditation that Brendan Burchard came up with. You can even create your own meditation if you're familiar with meditation. But if you're not, this is a very simple one that you can test for yourself and see what happens. See what happens. It only takes a few minutes. So he calls it the release meditation, and it relaxes your body and mind and lets go of stress. And you might be astounded at how quickly you relax. You might be amazed at how quickly your body starts to relax and just tension starts to drift away, and the stress that was there a few minutes before can start to evaporate. You might be very surprised. Worth testing this. So what do you do? Well, the release meditation technique, first of all, sit in a comfortable position. You could be lying on your back, you could sit straight in a chair. Better to usually sit straight because you might fall asleep if you lie on your back. But sit in a comfortable position, not things sticking into you and that will distract you. Just any comfortable position. Just try this, test it. You can improve your technique later on. So sit in a comfortable position, close your eyes and become fully present. Okay? Just hear the sounds around you, smells, just become aware of your surroundings just for a few seconds. Take 10 deep breaths in through your nose and out through your mouth. I'm doing them a bit quick there, but I think you get the gist of it. Take 10 deep breaths in through your nose and out through your mouth. And just sense your body. Just sense your body, just focus on different areas of your body. Just sense it, get an overall sense of your physical body, and just focus on releasing any tension. Do you feel tension in the shoulders? Just breathe in, and when you breathe out, just imagine the tension just evaporating. So just sense your body, where you're at right now, okay? And then just sit with your eyes closed, and this is all you do. Repeat the word release every few seconds. Release. 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 And you can even do it silently after maybe a minute or so. You can do the whole thing silently. You can play around with this. There's no one size fits all. Experiment. So, but the important thing is, your intention is that every time you repeat the word release, you are releasing all thoughts, stress, and tensions in your life. Don't worry if you get distracted and start thinking about your shopping list or what you got to do next. Just bring it back, bring the focus back. Anytime you start drifting off, bring it back to release. Imagine releasing. So, honestly, I've done this with people who've never meditated before, and people who have meditated and didn't find it very easy. If you test this for only 2 minutes, 2 minutes, see how you feel. See how you feel. Well, I've shown several people how to, after 2 minutes, everybody says, "Oh my goodness, that was wonderful." 2 minutes. And then I show them the opposite, how to bring up energy. And they go from stressed to deeply relaxed to full of energy very, very quickly. Your mind is capable of this. We all have this ability to shift where we are at to where we want to be. Okay, so ideally meditate for 10 to 20 minutes daily and see how that feels. Test this. Okay, high performance daily habits, an energy checklist. I also shared this a few months back, but it's really important. So this is a checklist. There's going to be 3 columns here. You don't have to do everything. These are just simple optimizations you can make to improve your health and energy and brain power. So I'm suggesting, do a couple from each column and see, do that for a couple of weeks. Maybe then choose a couple more from each column and find your own balance. So first of all, rest and exercise. You don't have to do any of these, but I would suggest you do some of them and see the effects. Test everything. So rest and exercise. Walk outside every day for at least 30 minutes. Sleep 8 to 9 hours per night. Well, 7 to 9 hours is fine. If you miss that target, nap or meditate during the day to catch up. About sleep, it's funny, if you go beyond 9 hours sleep regularly, it's not great for your health either. It's not having enough sleep can lead to serious problems, but getting too much sleep can make you very sluggish. It can slow up your whole metabolism. So the sweet spot is 7 to 9 hours sleep. I tried to get minimum 8 hours. I always get 9 at the weekends if at all possible. So sleep 8 to 9 hours per night. If you miss that target, nap if you can, or meditate during the day to catch up. Meditation, 10 minutes only it takes. You can do it for 2 minutes. You'll see benefits. You'll feel benefits. Do 2 60-minute cardio activities per week, but of course you need to consult your doctor if you're taking up any new exercise or health routine or nutrition. I am not a medical doctor, and anything I say is not advice. You need to check with a medical professional if any of these things are not absolutely safe for you, and you know that as fact. Okay, so yeah, do two 60-minute cardio activities per week, but first consult your doctor, particularly if you're overweight or you're or if you're unhealthy right now. Do 2 20 to 40-minute intense workouts per week, strength-based or HIT, high intensity training. Absolutely hate it. I tried it years ago. No, thank you. I'm afraid that's a no-no for me. HIT, the HIT or high intensity training, but there you go. I might change my mind, but I do a lot of the other things, and it makes a big difference. So meditate once or twice daily for 15 to 20 minutes, or you could use a mind machine, like a light and sound device that I demonstrate every so often, or biofeedback. There are lots of different ways of there are other things apart from meditation that can have the same effects, but meditation, you don't have to buy anything. You can just do it with your mind and your body. So that's rest and exercise. Pick a couple of those, or even at least one. So in the realm of diet and nutrition, a few suggestions here. Eat a whole food diet, heavy in organic plant-based foods. I'm not saying don't eat meat. I eat meat, but a lot of, if you don't take many vegetables, good to increase your intake of vegetables, particularly raw vegetables and fruits. So eat a whole food diet based in organic plant-based foods. Absolute must, get tested for food allergies. Why? Why do I need to get tested? Because you know what? If your body is constantly fighting off elements from your environment that are attacking you, well, you're losing energy. But if you know what your allergies are and you treat those allergies, you gain back so much energy. If your body is always fighting allergens, you're losing so much energy that could go to your brain power and various other aspects of you. So getting allergy tests is a really great thing. Take a food-based multivitamin and vitamin D, B complex, magnesium and omega-3. See your nutritionist for additional supplements. Again, you need to speak with a medical professional about any of these things if you're not sure, because I am not a medical professional. Drink health shakes for breakfast or snacks. That's what I have every morning. I create in a blender, throw in all sorts of berries and banana and all the strawberries and raspberries and blueberries, and usually a handful of spinach, and I blend it all up. And I also include in that superfood powders. I use a thing called athletic greens, or if you're in the US, I think omega supplements. Is that right? I think no. Maybe I have the name wrong now. Anyway, Vega, is it Vega supplements? I don't know. Anyway, it's a green powder that contains literally every type of green vegetable you can imagine, all powdered down, and just mix it with water and ground up fruits, and it's a delicious smoothie. It gives so much energy and brain power. I love it. So drink a health shake for breakfast or snacks. Drink 3 to 5 litres of water per day, and avoid all sugary drinks, alcohol and caffeine. You don't have to. I drink coffee. I drink bulletproof coffee every morning. But avoiding certain things that cause you problems is wise. And everyone's body is slightly different, but this is a generalization. But definitely the water is a really big thing. Okay? Limit white starches and heavily processed breads and carbohydrates. So that's diet and nutrition. Daily energizing. These are some things that you could consider doing. Every 60 to 90 minutes, stand up and move and stretch. Okay, for example, you could do 20 arm crosses like that. Okay, you could do 20 arm circles. Okay, or even shoulder rolls. You could also do 40 knee-high marching in place, so you're like frog marching. Okay, moving your legs and knees. 20 seconds of patting your lower back around the kidney area, because that will give you a lot of energy. 10 deep breaths while bouncing on your toes, bouncing up and down your toes while breathing deeply. Bounce, bounce, bounce. So, this only takes 2 minutes. Can totally reset your energy as you go through the day and replenish your energy. And focus on speaking and gesturing with passion. When you do that, you gain more energy. That's the amazing thing about your facial expressions, your body posture, your gestures, your tone of voice, it energizes you, okay? And stay standing more often. You know what I got recently, and I've been thinking about doing it for years. I've been suffering from shoulder pain the last few months, so I went to an osteopath, and he had what I've always wanted, but never got around to getting, a standing desk. You press a button, and you're sitting at your desk, you press a button and the whole desk rises, and you can push your chair away, and you can work while standing. And anyway, I bought a beautiful piece of oak, huge piece of oak, 12 feet high. Got it cut in two, and I don't do woodwork. I hate doing DIY, but I made this absolutely beautiful sitting standing desk made from oak, and I sanded it down and put black epoxy resin into the cracks and gave it a big thick coating of epoxy, and it looks like, I love it. I've never had a desk like it in my life, and it's glassy smooth, and the texture in the wood, absolutely. I've never had any desk that my previous that feel like this. For 30 years I've used the same desk, and I've always wanted a beautiful wooden one, but couldn't find one nice enough. And it's a thing of beauty. I love it with a passion. It really affects me, but the great thing is every hour or two I press that button and the whole desk rises, and I'm working standing. And changing your posture, especially if you have a tendency to slouch, is a really good thing. Very good for the body, and it brings back more energy. I find standing working very natural. For maybe an hour or so, I feel so natural. Then I'll sit down and just lower the desk down and continue working. And so that's something to consider. Stay standing more often if you can. And those, sitting standing desks, well, the mechanism, okay, you need to cover it with a piece of wood, but the mechanism, that's less than $200. They're really cheap, touch sensitive. LED readout, you can set the heights you want, but you can also buy them with a desktop, and they're cheap. Amazed how cheap they are. And some of them will raise different weights. Some if you have a lot of computers and things on your desk, you might want one that can support that. But amazing things. Took me a long time to get it, and my God, I love it with a passion now. It's just wonderful. Best way I've ever worked. So also for daily energizing, hug and engage others physically more often. When you hug people, or when you show positive feeling to others, it energizes you. You give out, but you also are replenished with more than you give out, as it were. Try to make people smile or laugh more often. There's this thing that telemarketers were always told to do. They probably still are. Smile while you dial. So all these telemarketers who speak with, maybe 50, 100 people a day, they're told to smile when they're calling people, because it affects their emotions, it affects how they feel, and that's projected down the telephone line to the person they're speaking with. So, but when you smile more, you feel better, and it's a gift for others. It opens up connections. So try to make people smile or laugh more often. You're the one who will benefit from that. Focus on being fully present. Are you thinking about what's going to happen next and what you're going to do, or what happened in the past, or you spend a bit of time being more present? Gives you more energy. Okay, and keep a gratitude journal. A gratitude journal just at the end of each day, or even just a few times a week, has been found actually more beneficial to do it maybe about 4 times a week instead of every night. If you do it every night, it can become a bit of a habit, and you want lots of feeling in this. So doing it less frequent can give it greater depth. But a gratitude journal, just write down a few things that happened during the day, that you experience, that you feel grateful for. And when you focus when you do this regularly, It changes your perceptions of everything. It gives you more energy and joy for life. Gratitude is the key to everything. And if you've been following any of my work for some time, you'll know that many years ago, after being really successful in business, after selling my first company to a multinational, I lost everything. I trusted the wrong people, very bad people, and I made really crazy bad investments that seemed great at the time, and I lost everything. And a wife and a baby son who had just been born, and I couldn't feed them or myself. And gratitude changed all that. Gratitude practices. Okay. And I've met so many people who've experienced in life such loss and then such benefit and joy, a wonderful life ahead. And gratitude is one of those common factors that enables that to become possible. Okay. So I'm not saying do every one of these. Maybe, pick two from each week. Or sorry, two from each list for a week or two. And then maybe, pick another two. Do some testing, see how you feel as a result of this. I'm pretty certain you'll feel, unless you're in incredible health and great brain power already, I'm pretty certain this will have massive positive effects on all areas of your life. So, what have we covered today? Because we're getting into questions and answers in a moment. Well, first of all, I shared with you the whole subject of today was how to master your body and therefore master your life. And we looked at how energy is such a vitally important topic for success. And we looked at the importance of life energy, life force, chi, and how the mind and the body influence each other. Also, I shared with you Edgar Cayce's System for Health, CARE, or CARE, Circulation, Assimilation, Relaxation and Elimination. We also looked at the effects of food and exercise on your mind, and I shared with you 7 questions that you need to ask yourself that can give you more energy. And you can print out the PDF I'm going to share with you in a minute and answer those questions for yourself. Don't send them to me, answer them for yourself. And we looked at how your postures, your voice and gestures influence your energy, and also how meditation dramatically combats stress and increases your well-being. And also I shared with you a checklist just a moment ago for optimizing and maintaining your energy. So that's what we covered today. Going over to questions and answers in just one second, but as always, recommended resources. Edgar Cayce, The Story of Edgar Cayce, There Is a River, very wonderful book. Exploring Vibrational Medicine, I don't know if it's still available. It's a very old thing written by Dr. Richard Gerber back in the 1990s. I think it's still available. Wonderful book if you want to look into the meridian system and qi and the way Chinese and Oriental medicine and science works. Utterly fascinating, life-changing. Also, Dr. Candice Pert, Molecules of Emotion, how the way you feel affects absolutely everything. So it's the Molecules of Emotion, the science behind mind-body medicine by Dr. Candice Pert. I haven't read it, but I believe it's good. And High Performance Habits by Brendan Burchard. So it's over to you now. Ask me anything that you want about this session or anything that you think I might be able to help you. If you're watching the replay, you can still ask a question, because there should be a chat box on the page where you can ask a question and I'll answer it. But if you're watching this live, ask me now. I'm going to go back in front of my desktop computer and my webcam will spring to life, and momentarily this camera will blank out, and so will the microphone, the mic, and the other webcam and mic will spring to life. So don't go away. Going to blank out for about 2 seconds. See you in just one moment.
Okay, I hope you found that helpful. And let's get into the questions and answers. First of all, I want to copy and paste. There we go. You can download. Actually, I just want to see that, make sure that you can hear me. So I'm going to, yeah, all is good. No technical glitches today, apart from cats earlier. So if you look in the chat box, I've just added the presentation slides. So if you click on that, you can download all the slides from today's presentation. and it includes all the questions that I read out as well. So hope you find that helpful. Questions are coming in already. This is broadcast simultaneously on a few different platforms, YouTube and Facebook and LinkedIn and Twitter and a few other places. So I've got lots of chat boxes. So you may not see the same chat as others see, but there are a few chat boxes. There are a few questions here. Looking all over the screen. Question from Sue. Hello, Sue. I believe I've got bad posture because I slouch. Does this mean my posture is affecting the way I feel, or is the influence a bit more subtle than that? Also, will my mood really elevate when I change the way I carry myself? It sounds amazing that something so simple can have such a powerful effect. Yeah, it is amazing how something so simple can have such a powerful effect, and it's true. Our posture our posture has a massive effect on every aspect of our lives. But it's what dominates that has the longest effect. I mean, we all have good posture and bad posture at different times, I'm sure. But if our posture is not great, over extended periods of time, it can affect a lot of things. So even just simply checking in with yourself every few times, a few times a day, maybe a little reminder on your phone that pops up to say, ask yourself, how's your posture? It's just reflecting on that a few times a day. As I say, very hard to remember these things unless you set reminders. That's great. One of the great things about phones, reminders. And when you just check in on that a few times a day, you'll find you'll start altering your posture, and that can become a new positive habit. And also, you could use a shoulder brace. I got one once because I have a tendency to slouch, and didn't really use it much, but it's something that pulls your shoulders back. And now with my new sitting and standing desk, that's just great. So those are some suggestions. Hope that helps. Question from John. Hello, John. Mike, I joined a little later and think you were talking about acupuncture and that it uses the body's energy system. I had several acupuncture treatments a few years ago and they had absolutely no effect that I'm aware of. So I'm a bit skeptical. Are you saying that you should use acupuncture to be a high performer and be more successful? No, not really. I wasn't saying that you should use acupuncture. I'm just saying that I was explaining how our body gets its energy, not just from our food, but also directly from its environment, and how that energy moves around the body. And the way our energy moves around the body is very much affected by how active we are, the food, the quality of the food we eat, our thoughts, our emotions, our mind and our body affect each other profoundly. So it's a very interesting subject, this energy system thing, and you might think, what a load of baloney. But as I say, every health insurance company on the planet will insure you for certain types of subtle energy type medicine. For example, acupuncture, many other forms as well. It has been scientifically proved that these acupuncture points really do exist and they do have an effect. Otherwise, the medical insurance companies would not cover you for such practices. So I hope that helps. Let's see. Couple more, I think. Yeah, here's a question from Frank. Hello, Frank. Isn't meditation an Eastern religious practice? Is it possible to contact negative forces through meditation? Meditation is not just an Eastern practice. Meditation is practiced in all societies around the world. But here's a question. Having more compassion, having more courage, more wisdom, more love, more energy, and a more relaxed mindset, they're all very positive qualities. So I don't think there's anything to be fearful of here. Millions of people practice meditation, and they're not going around doing terrible things. For the most part, it affects the quality of life. In fact, there was what was it, the Global Consciousness Project, I think it was years ago, maybe the 90s, where they got thousands of people to meditate at exactly the same time all around the world. And the amazing things, they did this something like once a month. And within 24 hours of each of these group meditation sessions, worldwide violent crime dropped by something like 80%. Massive, statistically provable. It's like on a graph. Every time this happened, every single month, which is fascinating. Incidences of terrorism went way, way down. And when you correlate it directly to an event, it's extraordinary. So the effect of meditating, particularly in a group with a group intention, very, very, very powerful, very, very, very positive. I hope that helps. And even just, there are different states available through meditation, and different meditations have different effects. And the release meditation that I shared earlier, it's so simple, so simple. Just makes you more relaxed, more letting go. And you'd be amazed how after just 2 or 3 minutes, you feel very different. Wonderful, wonderful. And it's very safe. Okay. Question from Claire. This is quite a long one. I love the high performance. You must type very quickly. I love the high performance section you teach us every month, and I've had massive improvements in several areas of my life since I started using them. Every month you are teaching us more great stuff, so I'm worried that I might have too many things to add to my daily routine. Is it important to do everything, or can I just choose the tools that are most relevant to my life right now? For example, I do the energization breaks every 90 minutes, and they give me a lot more energy and focus than I had before. So that's really helped me transform some pretty big things in my life. But how often do I need to ask myself the different high performance questions? Do I just use what's most relevant to me now, right now, or should I just do each of them every so often? Thanks so much. No problem. Thank you. And great question. The thing is here is this is to reduce overwhelm, to reduce stress, and not add to it. You don't want to add any burden, because that has the completely opposite effect. It's what's most relevant to you right now that's most important. And I think, add things naturally as they are more relevant to you. Some of these techniques won't be relevant because you have that skill, or what would you say, that technique already working in your life. Maybe you have lots of energy, then you may not need to do the energization breaks as much as other people would. Or maybe you've great health already, maybe you don't need to optimize that any further for now. So just add do what's natural. Sorry, add things naturally and experiment a bit just to see. It might be a few tweaks you need to make here and there, but it must never become a chore. That would be completely the opposite to what we want to achieve. So I hope that helps. And looking over to this side of the screen, and a question from Robert. Hello, Robert. Robert says, I've been following self-help for 40 years, and although I would consider myself reasonably successful and happy, I know I'm not performing anywhere near my true ability. If you could give me one tip. That's a great question. And you know what? This is why I do what I do every month. So I think, look, we can work very hard and gain very little ground, or we can do the things that matter most. And the great thing about the high performance section that I share every single month, that I teach every month, the last part of each session, it's been scientifically proved to work. That guy Brendan Burchard, who I mentioned, one of my greatest ever mentors. I had the great fortune to be in his mastermind group for a few years. Remarkable people in that group. But he founded the High Performance Institute, and he wanted to see if there are certain things that highly successful people do that are in common. That do most highly successful people do this? Yes or no? Do they do that? Yes or no? Not just checking specific things, but finding out the habits of high performers. And it came down to a set of very specific things that the majority of them do. When I say the most successful people are the highest performers, I'm not talking about people who run till they drop or burn out. That's the opposite of what we're trying to do here. High performance is sustainable. It's something, it's achieving success above and beyond standard norms consistently over the long term. So there are little habits, little tweaks we can all adopt, little new things that we can start doing. For instance, the energization breaks every 60 or 90 minutes, 2-minute break. We normally start our day with maximum energy, hopefully, and then we lose it as we go through the day, particularly when we switch tasks, we always lose a bit of energy. Or if we get distracted, we lose energy. Go back to our work, we've lost energy. But if you can replenish your energy as you go through the day, wow, that changes everything. Just doing these energization breaks, you have more focus when you get back to your desk, if you work at a desk or whatever your work is. You're more aliveness, you're more energy, you're more brain power. And imagine doing that, replenishing your energy and brain power and focus every 90 minutes of the day. Wow, you become so much more productive. You feel better. You've more energy for your family at the end of the day. These are little tweaks that we can make that can have profound implications, and they have been scientifically proved to work. These are not just my own theories or pulling things out of the air. These things are real, So if you join us every month for these live training sessions, you'll learn a lot of simple things you can implement. And also the Secrets of Success mentoring program. There's a link on wherever you're watching this, whether it's YouTube or Facebook or wherever. There'll be a link in the chat. Probably at the top. Yeah, it's at the top. It is at the top. It says the Secrets of Success mentoring program. Find out more, and there's a clickable link there. And basically, when someone joins this Secrets of Success mentoring program, you don't just get access to live training, because that's now, I make that public for free for everyone, but also over $3,500 worth of success training. And it's all those things that have been proved to work. How to achieve your goals faster, how to get ahead faster, how to have more joy and aliveness. All these things, these things are so precious. And I think most people, they try this and they try that and hoping to find that magical pill. And it's like what shiny object syndrome. You hop from one, or like a butterfly flitting from flower to flower. That's positive because they're gaining nutrition and nectar and all that. But I think in human beings, if we're flitting from thing to thing and we don't drill deep in any of them, so what's the word? Can be very demotivating. It can be, you can end up very disillusioned. And the sad reality is that at retirement age, 95% of people are just barely above the poverty line. I'm not saying that money is everything, but it certainly helps when you are financially secure. It certainly frees up your time and your ability to explore life instead of being constrained. And you know what? When your basic needs are catered for and are fulfilled, naturally you want to make more of a difference in the lives of other people as well. When your own needs are met, then you've got so much more to give to the world. So I think these little things are really important. There's so much self-help stuff out there that's great, and so much that's not great. So much that works pretty good, so much that doesn't work at all. I mean, one of the big phenomenons, I don't know, what was it, about 20 years ago? Goodness, it must be 20 years ago at this point, nearly, a long time ago, was the Secret. The Secret. Now, a lot of good messages there. It was really showing how our dominant thoughts are reflected back in things happening. or dominant thoughts and emotions. But there are so many missing secrets from The Secret. You know, you don't just visualize and tell the universe what you want and it magically appears. No, there's other qualities like persistence, really clear goal setting, creating the strategy and action plan, and making effort. And effort, it's not just sort of wishing and things fall out of the sky. Oh, that's so disillusioning. So many people have told me The Secret never worked for them, or the law of attraction never worked for them. Of course it didn't, not in the way that was taught. I'm not saying it did a disservice to the world. It woke up people to a certain thing, that's certain truths, but there's so many missing secrets from The Secret. And I think one of the greatest books ever written is Napoleon Hill's Think and Grow Rich. Huge book. It's so amazing. Written almost, well, in the 1930s. And most self-help books have originated from that. Most success training has originated from that book. That is the granddaddy of everything. And it's amazing. In fact, it's such an extraordinary book in how it teaches how to use your mind to live really fulfilling life. It's so good. I got someone years ago to narrate 18 hours of it, a professional, he's a radio producer, a guy who, a radio presenter, great voice, and I got him to, paid him a lot of money for it, to narrate the whole 18 hours. And actually, if you're a Secrets of Success member, you'll have free access to that 18-hour audiobook. It's great when you're driving, to listen to some really, really motivational stuff that really makes a difference. Anyway, that actually is one of the common denominators in a phenomenal number of highly successful people. They have read, and in many cases, many times read Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill. And my own bestseller, I have a few, but this one, The Most Powerful Goal Achievement System in the World. Anyone who has read Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill will recognize a lot of the elements in this. Or a lot of people who read this will, and have read Think and Grow Rich, will recognize a lot of correspondences. This is very much modernized to include, what would you say, neuroscience. We've come a long way in almost 100 years. We know a lot more what really works and what doesn't. I'd say 90% of Think and Grow Rich is absolutely perfect. Can't be improved on, but we've learned a few things since then. So I hope that helps. And Richard says, read that too. Very good. You're on the right track. You've been on the right track for the last 40 years. He's also saying, I started that one, and having read about 400 books, they all seem to say the same, which is basically conceive, believe, achieve, as Hill said. He was extraordinary, absolutely extraordinary human being. Anyway, that's it for now. Thank you so much. There doesn't seem to be any more questions, and all the windows open in front of me. So have a great month ahead, and look forward to being with you next month. Take care. Bye-bye.